Hello, my name is Mike Witham, and I'm the senior pastor of the First Baptist Church of Ranson, West Virginia, the sending church for the Schrock family. Let me begin by saying that we are both honored and thrilled to be partners with Eric and Lily in the great work that God is doing through them in the country of Romania. I actually met Eric in May of 2002. That's when he came on staff as our youth pastor, a position that he held for 2 years. During those 2 years, he did a tremendous job, and we grew to love him very much. Although we were sad when Eric resigned as our youth pastor, we were absolutely delighted when he asked us to become his sending church for the work in Romania. That was 11 years ago. Not only are we excited about the work, we're also committed to do everything within our power to make sure that Eric and Lily are fully equipped to do the work that God has called them to do. We could, however, use the help of like-minded churches. The needs are great, the challenges are many, the opportunities are boundless, and the missionaries are most certainly worthy of your support. Please pray for the Schrock family and at least consider partnering with us in this great endeavor. Thank you, and God bless you.
My name is Eric Schrock. Over the last 10 years, God has allowed me the opportunity to serve in Romania. The people of Romania are very similar to anywhere you would find elsewhere in Europe. You have common markets where people go to buy fresh fruits. You have parks where people come to visit and play with their kids. We live in the heart of Transylvania in the city of Sfântu-Gheorghe, St. George. The city of St. George is a city of about 50,000 people. In this city, there are but 3 gospel-preaching churches. We have the opportunity now to be a part of what God is doing here in the city of St. George. When God called me to the city of St. George, I wasn't sure what the future held here. I was nervous. It was my first time I'd stepped out on my own as a church planter, and in doing so, we've seen God provide time and again. The ways He's answered small prayers, large prayers, things that we didn't see any way that it was possible to do, He's seen fit to lead us and guide us each step of the way. For the last 7, almost 8 years now, God has allowed me to work in this city with a small church plant. Church started with just 1 member when we came here to this city, and yet now God has seen it grown over the years to where a church body now exists. We have people who love the Lord, who want to serve Him, who bring their friends and want to share the love of Jesus with everybody they meet. Our desire now in this ministry is that we can build a self-supporting indigenous church. The goal is to build a church that can sustain its own ministry without a missionary, without American finances, having a national pastor, Romanian people doing God's work in Romania. One of the obstacles that stands in our way is the lack of a building. This church has rented several different locations over the years, and while we thank God for His provision, now we look to the future. We look to a building that we can host our church. We need more space. To tell you the truth, the location where we're at now is just too small. We've outgrown it many times over, and we would love to have a place where we have Sunday school classrooms, an auditorium that seats 50, 60 people. We would love to be able to house a national pastor on the facilities. Our goal in our building project right now is to raise the finances, raise the prayer support, raise the help that would be able to come and renovate our building so that God can see this church stand on its own feet. 5 years ago, after we'd already been here a couple of years, we began a new children's ministry, reaching out to some of the children that live here in Romania that don't have a lot else going for them. The first Sunday we began with them, we were hoping for 10 kids. God gave us 14. From there, we've grown, and now every week we'll have between 30 to 40, sometimes even 60 kids show up on a Saturday. We've developed a core group of young people who love God, who are saved and growing in Christ. Our desire as we work with these young people is that we would be able to train them, train the national pastors, the Sunday school teachers, the leaders of the church. And our desire in doing this is not to bring ourselves the glory, but to show God's grace, to show God's goodness, His provision, how He can work in their lives, in their church. And so one of the things we want to do is build a building. In building a building, we're not building a church. First and foremost, we understand that the church is the people. The people are already here. We just want some place for them to meet, that is their own. A building not made of wood, but of concrete, of stone, something that will last long after we're gone, something that would be culturally appropriate and fit the city itself. We don't want to build a cathedral, but we do want to build a home for our people. Having a location is very important to the Romanian mentality. When they think of church, they think of the grand cathedrals in Romania, the big monuments to the Orthodox Church. Yet we understand the building is simply a place to meet, a place to bring your family, your friends, where they can hear the gospel presentation, where they can hear the love of Jesus Christ. We're looking at several different options for our building project. One option is to purchase property and build a building. Another option is to buy an existing property and renovate so that it would meet our needs. We lean more towards the latter because none of our people own vehicles. They all walk to church, some 15, 20 minutes, some more. And our desire is to build a location that would be close to where they're at. And oftentimes that means that we have to renovate a building that would already be existing. So in this project, we're looking to buy a land with buildings already on it that we could renovate to fit the needs of our church. Our prayer is that people would get a vision for what God is doing here in our ministry, whether with the teenagers, with the adults, with the parents. We want people who would join together with us in prayer and support. Perhaps God would lay it on your heart to come and visit to help build a building here in Romania. However God leads you to be a part of what He's doing here in Romania, do it. Whether it's by prayer support, financial, or coming to visit and help build. Allow God to use you to help this church in its ministry as we reach Romanians for Christ. We believe in the authority of the local church. Everything that we do flows out of and from that, both here and in the United States. Our sending church is First Baptist Church of Ranson, West Virginia. If you have any questions or you'd like to be a part of what God is doing here in Romania, don't hesitate to contact myself or my pastor, Mike Witham, at First Baptist.